Jonathan Hickman and Francesco Mobili take us into the finale of the first half of Hickman's absolutely epic X-Men run as Mystique enacts her plan to destroy Orchis and Nimrod, but things go horribly wrong for the mutant saboteur. Jonathan Hickman goes back in time all the way to issue 6 of his run to pick up the Nimrod and Orchis storyline yet again. I thoroughly enjoyed seeing this storyline get picked up since I honestly thought it was going to fall by the wayside in this first part of his run, and it's great he actually did pick it up since Hickman did put some great weight on this Nimrod coming online and what that means for the mutants, using that as the basis for his upcoming series Inferno. I thoroughly enjoyed as well that this issue alone sold the sinister nature of Krakoa and how Charles and Erik are manipulating everyone to do their bidding, none more so than Mystique, who has been completely fucked over by Charles and Erik, setting up her character for one hell of a revenge plot. Again, I absolutely love all of the sinister stuff this whole X-Men run throughout this book. Marauders, Hellions, all of the books have had the sinister nature going through them with what exactly is going on Krakoa, and if you are still on the fence about the mutants being somewhat evil, this issue should quell those thoughts, because they definitely are very evil. Above all else though, we finally get to see Moira X again, for the first time in a very long time, and we finally get to see what her getting involved means for Krakoa and the future of mankind, and I gotta say, it's pretty awesome. Francesco Mobili delivers some really stunning looking pages that really invoke a lot of Leinil Francis Yu's work on the book in its early days, fitting in nicely with lots of detailed pages and great looking action that helps showcase the scale of Orchis and their operation and plan. X-Men issue 20 was an utterly masterful penultimate issue in Jonathan Hickman's grand X-Men retooling, getting us ready for a fantastic conclusion of this part of the story by digging up some long gestating plot points and renewing them with some fresh perspectives that have gotten me even more excited for the future of the X-Men. I'm going to give this issue a 10 out of 10. X-Men issue 20 finds Mystique meeting with Destiny's Mask in her home before heading to Forge's labs, where she talks with Forge, who wonders exactly how much of an impression does Raven want to make here. The woman says she's got annihilation on her mind and it looks like she's come to the right place, but can't help but wonder how he sleeps surrounded by weapons of destruction. Forge says he sleeps just fine, making Raven wonder how he manages that. Forge continues working with the vines, knowing a stick could be used to craft something like a tool or beat someone to death with, and it's a human argument, but that's how he sees it, citing all of the glorious things humankind have made, having taken useful tools and found a way to use it for their destruction, and they lie to themselves and say they started out with good intentions. He fashions a knife and a ball from the vine, knowing that he doesn't lie and he makes something with a singular function, making it a tool or a weapon. Raven wonders if he's going to help her or not, since she's there with the authority of the council and Charles and Erik have told her to tell him to give her what she needs. Forge doesn't know what she's shooting at, so he doesn't know what to make. Learning from Raven, she'll take whatever will do the most damage. He says he could make a matter-antimatter collider, but she would need to be off-world to use it, learning that she will indeed be off-world since she's going after Orchis. Forge knows that Orchis, instead of showing their true colors, have been getting prepared and have mutant extinction on the mind, wondering if Raven knows how many weapons he's built in his lifetime. Raven knows it's a lot and Forge knows that about covers it, but he knows the worst weapon he built was the one that turns them into Orchis. He knows that he can build what she wants, but it will take a few weeks to get the parts. Weeks later at the House of M, Mystique shows the microscopic singularity generator Forge made for her, and how it will release a mini black hole that will soon collapse in on itself and eat the Orchis Forge, but it won't be strong enough to reach Sentinel City or their system of orbital platforms, since that would risk taking the sun down with it. Magneto says that seems to be an exercise in restraint, but Raven says that Orchis is a cancer and it's got to be cut out from the root, and they can leave no doubt since this is what the men want. Xavier says that they have overmanaged this job until now and maybe they should just leave the job with Mystique alone, since the only thing that matters is making sure Nimrod isn't brought online. Mystique knows the mutants want their hands clean from the slaughter, sarcastically saying that that's some leadership they have there. Erik reminds her that they made a deal and it can end if she just lets them know that she's not the right tool for the job, since they have others who will will do this. Mystique morphs into her disguise, saying that when she returns successfully, Destiny will be moved to the front of the resurrection queue, and the men agree to do that, but only her failure prevents the deal's completion. On the Orchis Forge, Dr. Gregor completes Nimrod, saying that she created something wonderful here. She says that this is now her husband, as before he died protecting the station, Erasmus participated in a special experiment that grew his memories in a crystalline shell, so they could restore his essence back to a human being, this time in a Nimrod being the vessel. She says that they have all gathered there to witness his resurrection as she inserts the crystal into the robot, letting loose a blinding light that brings Nimrod online. The being recognizes his wife, saying that he feels strange, as Gregor knows that he's confused, knowing his memories are partitioned off in a separate drive and he can access his memories whenever he's ready, and he'll know what happened. Erasmus does, and finds out that he died and she wept and the world changed and his wife brought him back. The scientists are all amazed that actually work as the man checks out his new body, finding its capabilities wonderful, but he knows he can never give his wife a child, knowing that he wanted children. Gregor doesn't care, knowing what matters is that he's back and she is so happy. Erasmus soon points out that one of their men there is a mutant, so Mystique drops her disguise, forcing her to kill the scientist as Nimrod attacks. She activates the device Forge made for her, congratulating them on all their achievements, and she'll be sure to put them all on their tombstones. The device explodes open with a black hole as Nimrod duplicates himself, sending part of him after the mutant, as he and Gregor also deal with the bomb. Realizing it's meant to destroy the entire station, Raven races through the station's halls as Nimrod says that his body has an internal translocator and it uses the mass of the machine as a counter lever, meaning that he can swallow the bomb. He reassures Gregor that he can regrow and rebuild, but Gregor doesn't want him to do this. He says that she'll need to wait for the memory core to grow and replicate through the host body, but she refuses to lose Erasmus again. He apologizes for what he's about to do, having a duplicate of himself get the woman back as he tends to the bomb, saying he would never save himself if the sacrifice meant losing her. He soon blips out of existence with the bomb, taking it far from the lab and detonating it, saving the station. Gregor hopes that Erasmus in the duplicate body is somewhere still in there, but the robot says he's sorry for what he's about to tell her, meaning that Erasmus is gone for good. Mystique, meanwhile, is grabbed by the Nimrod duplicate, telling the mutant that she failed, and when she returns to her masters, she is to tell them that he was born today and the first thing he experienced besides the love of his master was the pain and loss at her hands. He blasts Raven back through the Krakoan gate she grew on the station, where she is found by Erik and Xavier. Later on the Orchis station, Omega Sentinel tells Dr. Devo that Gregor is inconsolable, with Devo knowing that most people wouldn't be able to get back up after what she just went through, but Sentinel knows that Devo did and so will she. He wants to know about the Krakoan gate, learning that they put it in quarantine in hard vacuum and it's a death trap, but if the mutants try and use it again, the situation is handled. Devo knows they planted the gate a lot sooner than they arrived on the station, knowing the mutants have such patience. He wonders how badly they were hurt, but Omega says that they really weren't beyond Erasmus, which is shocking considering the weapon the mutants got on board, knowing they tried to open a black hole in the forge. Devo laughs it off, saying while they hate mutants and mutants hate them, and all of their arrogance and bravado are in conflict with their actions, since the mutants don't just hate them, they fear Orchis. On Krakoa, Mystique is reborn, asked what happened on the station, but Raven knows that they backed up her mind, so they know, but Erik wants her to say it. Raven says that Nimrod is online, and Xavier realizes this changes things, but Erik knows it also clarifies other things, so Xavier wants to stop putting it off and do it now. Raven asks about Irene, but the man wonders what she means, making Raven enraged that they lied to her about bringing her wife back. Erik and Charles later enter an underwater room as a voice says that there will be a last island and it will be the hope of mutant kind, and when those days come, they need to remember to bring her back. The words belong to Moira X, whom Erik and Charles have finally come to see as the woman finishes Irene Adler's journals.